Hello and welcome to my fellow colorists. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Jody and today's video is going to be a review of all the pages that I completed in December 2022. Now this is quite the stack, but the majority of the work was actually done in one book during our Advent calendar series where we colored and did an activity a page a day in this book from Ursula Schwab, and it's a German book and it's called Golden Advent Calendar. So let me remove the rest of the books out of the way and we will get started. And I'll start with the Advent calendar and then we'll move on to all the other pages. Just move the camera a little bit and you will see that we have a variety of activities that we also completed and did. So when we get to those days in the book, I will pan you out and I'll explain what those activities are. Okay, let's get started. So this was 24 days. There's a video for each day on my channel and there's a playlist if you so choose to go back and see the details on any of these pages. We started off the calendar with a snowflake, and I used some stickles, some metallic glitter paint. I also used so there was a variety of different glitter paint, and again if you go back to each video you'll see exactly what I used, but just so you can see so this was a good start to the book and I really enjoyed that. On to page 2 and we had a snowman in a snow globe, and on this page I used different mediums for different parts of the glitter. So I used Winsor Newton iridescent medium for the snow and then also a metallic gel pen. I used stickles around the edge along with the metallic gel pen. I used some gold stickles in the center, and for the snowman himself I used the Recollections white glitter paste. So no matter how you move the snowman, there's going to be a different kind of sparkle and shine. I've got stickles on his hat. So I had a lot of fun with this page and I think it turned out great. Day 3 was an activity where we colored, cut out, and then made a wreath, and I decided to make the wreath but keep it in the book. So I photocopied the page and made the wreath. So these are all glued down. There's a little bit of sparkle in there, but each piece was colored, cut out, glued, and then I just added some washi tape to kind of mask that there was still a bunch of stuff underneath. So that was day 3. On to day 4, and it's a coloring page and it's of an owl and 3 little birds. I used a specific palette from Sarah Renee Clark's color cubes, and if you go to that day's page video you will see which color palette I used. So that was day 4. On to day 5 and we had an activity. So when we had an activity I put in a plastic envelope type thing so that I could keep the activity, but this was our first activity I did and it was a little gift box for like cookies, and so I didn't glue it tight or put the string through the top so that I could lay it flat back in my book, but there was a couple of boots, 2 different St. Nick's, and a design on the bottom. I used a lot of Dollar Tree glitter markers on this and some Dollar Tree metallic markers, as well as a little bit of Recollections glitter paste and some stickles. And I will just unfold this guy and stick him back into so that way I have everything to do with the book still in the book, and that's how I'm keeping him. So for day 6, it was a coloring page, and this was a little guy looking through a dog door at what I assume is his Christmas present, which is an old boot filled with some dog toys. And I used a variety of pencils. Each day I tried to use a different brand of pencil. So again, if you want to see what I used, just go back to that video. I didn't write down all of the things because it was to do a page a day, an activity day, was quite a bit. So I will just go past that page. So this was a tea light holder that we made, and it's 3D. So it has these little things that come up. I used some Folk Art Glitterific Tropical paint on, that's what is the chunky glitter, both in the center and on the edge. I used some Dollar Tree markers, and then I got a votive from the Dollar Tree, and this is how it turned out. So it's a votive holder. So it's not meant for like a hot candle, because this is paper and that would be a fire hazard. So this is just a battery operated little votive. And that's that one. So I will just put that there. I'll slip them in later. Then we go on to page 8, or day 8. And we had another coloring page. And this time it was tea and cookies. And we used a little bit of clear stickles on top of some pencils. My stickles and my shiny markers really got to work out. Okay, this was an activity that was supposed to be a door hanging wreath. I didn't feel that I needed an extra wreath hanging on my door. I already have one, so I decided to make it into a coloring page. And so we've got stickles around to hide all of the cut lines. We've got the Recollections glitter paste. We've got a bunch of different markers. We've got Spectrum Noir sparkle markers. And it turned out really nice. And then a little bit of snowflake washi tape. So every page is a little bit blingy, and I had lots of fun. Christmas was definitely a blingy time this year in this book. So this is day 10, and it was a wreath with some hanging figure skates on it. A little bit of washi tape on the outside. Used Spectrum Noir and Dollar Tree items. This is another one. This is our angel. So just let me, so that you're not looking at the glare. This was our tree topper angel. And I used Ranger glitter paste, the kind of like the Stickles gel medium, and I put that on top of colored pencil, which was in light blue and light pink. And then I had some purple accent on her dress. And I did put her on my tree, so I can insert a picture of her sitting on my tree right here. We move on to day 12, and it is a picture coloring page. It is a gray cat sitting on a pillow in front of a window where it's snowing outside. And to get the super sparkle on the garland that is going around the top of the window, I first used just some regular green Zig Clean Color brush pen, and then on top of that I used Dragonfly Glaze, and that just went from boring to wow. So that's really nice. Used a little bit of Signo gel pen to do the snowflakes. There's Stickles, there's Recollections glitter paste, there's trying to get the reflective there. So yeah, had lots of fun. Lots of lots of great comments and stories within all of the days as I was coloring. I was asking questions, people were answering, and I really appreciate everybody. So this one was day 13. Really appreciate everybody taking the time to answer. So this was a tea light lantern, and it has cutouts and little pictures on everyone. I put the star on a needle so that it could come in and out, and the tea light just goes underneath like that, and it shines through the bottom. So that was day 12. Day 13 is that was day 13. Day 14 is a coloring page. And it is a page where we've got Santa's North Pole location and 3 reindeer out frolicking or exercising, kind of along this, looks kind of like a rainbow in the sky. I've got iridescent medium on the trees acting as the snow, and on the house itself. Got some silver washi tape around the edge, and I used Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s for this page. So this page was totally done with water soluble, except for the deer, which I used polychromos for. And there was absolutely no problem with this paper. This paper was very thick, very robust. Had no problem with using any of the mediums that I used. Day 15 were 4 gift tags, which I decided to leave in the book. There were 4 different birds, and I did each bird based on, I Googled the bird and used the colors for that bird. So we've got an eastern bluebird here. We've got a peacock. We've got a black-capped winter chickadee, and we have a cardinal. I used then some washi tape. These are the tags themselves were done with Dollar Tree glitter markers and metallic markers, and a little bit of Sparkle Pop glitter gel pens. This was a fun page. Day 16 is a coloring page, and holy moly, I did use a palette from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cubes, so that helped with this, but this was a very intricate mandala. There's just a lot going on in this. I used all kinds of different things, but mainly polychromos pencils and Dollar Tree glitter markers and a little bit of gel pen. And then, of course, the light green washi tape to kind of just set it off. I also used for these areas here the new Artex paint pens, the ones with the sponge brush tip, and they were actually really fun. So I will be using those again very soon. Day 17 was a repeat. So I'm not quite sure what happened with this book, but I then took a chance to leave this book, and I did a page in the Matchstick Mouse Christmas, and I will show you that later. So there was still a day 17, but I'll cover it when I get to that book. So day 18 is a coloring page, and it was a hearth with some rocking horse, and like it's all set up and ready for Christmas. It had some stockings. I used quite a few of the Zig Clean brush pens and some gel pens on here and some pencil crayons. It was lots of fun. A little bit of glitter on Santa. Can't resist. Day 19 was a Christmas card, and it's in German, and it was an elaborate pop-up card where you cut out this fan shape area and you propped it up here. And I don't have any friends in German who speak German, so I decided to make this into more of just a coloring page. So I added some washi tape to hide the cut lines. I used on the background, because this is Santa in a night sky, I used Folk Art Black Flash paint. that's not it. This is it. So it's a color shift paint, and it's called Black Flash. It's acrylic paint, and then I use the Faber-Castell Pitt pen for the dark blue. Some gel pens. So yeah, that turned out really well. I liked how that went. And then we've just got some Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pop and some stickles. And every day I Googled what it said. So I used Google Translate and translated into German. So this does say Merry Christmas in German. Day 20. We've got a ornament box, and each ornament is done with a different kind of glitter. So each one will have a different shine. Had lots of fun on the little ornament here. I used the dragonfly glaze on top of blue, and some stickles on the stars. Winsor Newton on this guy, stickles on this guy, gel pen and stickles. Metallic marker and stickles, and this was Recollections glitter paste. Lots of fun. A little bit of washi tape to finish this page off. Page 21. You have to remember, I did a page a day, so each page was completed that day. So I didn't take a couple of days to plan it out and get it done. It was just open it, and while I was filming, let's get this accomplished. So it was a big undertaking, but I think most of the pages turned out really well. This was an activity. It was supposed to be a tabletop stand-up. It was a reindeer with a couple of angels sitting on its back. I decided I didn't need a tabletop reindeer that was just going to get crushed. So I left it in the page. I used some bleed-proof white from Dr. P.H. Martin to get rid of the cut lines. I used some stickles. I used the Black Flash paint down here to kind of join the two little reindeer guys together. The angels, I made different colors. And there was lots of glitter. Lots of gold Dollar Tree marker gold pens. So yeah. So this activity ended up being one that I just kept in the book, and it was supposed to be a table stand. The next day is day 22, and it is Santa, and he's got this magical bag. So this wreath magically kind of comes out of the bag. So half of it is in and half of it is out. It was quite interesting. I used some Spectrum Noir Sparkle pens. I also used some Sketchbook watercolor pens. I used some permanent marker on the background, and I used some stickles on the tree for the snow. And then I had used the Spectrum Noir sage color for the wreath, and it actually totally hid all the intricate little doodles and lines that were on the wreath. So the wreath was looking very plain, so I decided to add myself in some holly and some stickles for berries, and that just kind of broke up the wreath and gave it some more interest again. And we've got a couple of little blue birds or blue doves hauling out the heart. We got Recollections glitter paste on the bottom. And yeah, it was lots of fun. It was each coloring page was a lot of work for one day, but kept me busy in the month. So day 23. This day is probably my least liked page in the book, but it's done. These were supposed to be small greeting boxes. So there are 3 separate greetings in German. They say tranquility and peace for you, something else, peace for you, vigor and peace for you. So I used some metallic paint for the backgrounds. So that was the Paul Rubens tape. I used some washi tape around them to hide the cut lines. And then I used Polychromos pencils for, this is a little bear, little fox. I kept calling this one a a bunny until I realized it's a squirrel. And I actually had accidentally, because I didn't know it was a squirrel, I had actually covered up with the paint half of his tail. So he kind of looks like a squirrel with a very unbushy tail. And that was my error. Then to kind of tie the page together, I used some gelatos and dry brushed those on just to try and make the colors work together. Not my favorite page, but it's done. And we did have fun using different mediums on the page. And the last page in the book is day 24. And this page I used Graphitint water-soluble graphite pencils. So I used both Derwent and my Staedtler tinted graphite pencils, a little bit of washi tape and a little bit of stickles and some gel pen. And really happy with how this came out. Again, lots of water mediums and no problems, no bleed through, no nothing. Definitely would buy a Ursula Schwab book or a book from Top again. The paper was excellent. I did buy this from Book Depository, so it did take a while to get to me. So I ordered it back in October. So those were the first 23 pages, and I'll go grab my book stack for the rest of the books. So on to a couple of non-Christmas type coloring pages. I participate when I can in Pixie Project's Disney Color hashtag, and so this month it was prompt was for the In and Out movie, and the only one that I had was Disgust, so that's what her emotion is, and she is all in different greens. Spectrum Noir Sparkle brush pens, a green Dollar Tree markers, all kinds of different green, both sparkle and non-sparkle watercolors, and different brush pens. And so I had to Google what she looked like. I have seen the movie, but it has been quite some time. But yes, this is Disgust, and it was from the Disney Mini Block Portraits book, and it goes towards Pixie's Disney coloring. I then went and we're doing the books sort of by size now, in case you were wondering. So Rita Berman's Land Under the Microscope, and I did one page in this book, and it was the Christmas deer page. I used some ink on the background, and then I used the Recollections glitter paste as snow. I used some different metallic markers on the stars, and I used Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s for the rest. The only time I used pencil crayon or polychromos was over here on this. So on the really tiny sprigs, I used a pencil crayon. Otherwise, everything else is gel pen and Neocolor 2. Got a little bit of glossy accent on his eye. Really like how he turned out. Got a little bit of gold accents on his horns. So there's just a little. So that's Rita Berman's Land book. And yeah, great books. Love her books. The next one is A Million Sea Creatures by Lulu Mayo. And I did 3 pages in this book. One was a double page spread. And again, I was using Neocolor 2s, so I was having a lot of fun with water mediums this month. And I also used some Winsor Newton iridescent medium to do some lines so that it gave the water some movement. I used a little bit of black flash paint on the fish, so each one has a little bit of black flash on it, so as you move it, it changes color. So yeah, so all of the background, all of these items, all with Neocolor 2. Same with this. The designs on the sleigh were done with gel pens, as were some of the accents on the coral in the. Lots of fun. I think it turned out pretty great. I considered it a Christmas page, so I tried to use some Christmas colors. Definitely for here, there's a little bit of stickles on the balloons. So I think it turned out really nice. Happy with the results. That's all you can be. And then the next page, I tried to, again, I left it in traditional green and red Christmas colors for the most part. And it is a little coral village. And I used, again, I used some Neocolor too. I used some gel crayon, silky gel crayon for the background. This time I used the Winsor iridescent medium on the bubbles to match this page. I used some gel pens, and I used the Zig water brush markers, Zig Clean Color water brush markers for the rest of the page, and also Spectrum Noir brush markers. So there's a little bit of glitter all throughout the green because there's different greens there. So, but I did want to definitely make this a Christmas page, so I left it with Christmas because there's little presents down here. So I made it into a little Christmas village. And those are the 3 pages from A Million Sea Creatures. Then we go away from Christmas to The Way Home, a Galactic coloring book. So I just did a page that I wanted to do. I used a little bit of ink on the background. I'd stenciled some clouds. I used a blue alcohol marker, and then on top I used the blue dragonfly glaze. This stuff from Folk Art. I did that on both the clouds and the water. I used a little bit of gel pen, sparkly gel pen for his collar like normal. So yeah, I was trying markers out. I have found that the markers are yellowing. I have the Ohuhu set, so I'm new to alcohol markers, so I was quite disappointed that it's making the page behind turn yellow. So I have put a parchment paper behind the majority of the picture to help stop transfer. So yeah, so as you can see, there's some yellow here, so I don't know what to do about that. And then I brought out the Matchstick Mouse Halloween coloring book. I thought there's quite a few pictures in this book that to me are more fall and winter. They're not necessarily Halloween. So I used silky gel crayons with a brush for the background in 3 different colors. And I just did a little owl. 2 little owls. A mom and a little friend. So it was just a simple page. And I just can't resist doing backgrounds for these. I know it's not required, I just can't resist. So that's Matchstick Mouse, a Halloween coloring book. And then we go into Matchstick Mouse, a Christmas coloring book. Bunch of done in here. So this is the first one I did. So I used this for December Color Your Hoard and Christmas Cheer 2022 that Lavalia's coloring and T's Adult World coloring put on. So I used alcohol markers. I used the dragonfly glaze on the sky, some stickles. The eye is done with the glaze, and the skates, the little, are with a gel pen. And then I've got Recollections glitter paste for the snow. And then I did a stencil for the background and finished it off with some washi tape. In the next page I did, I used both alcohol markers and also colored pencil and stickles and gel crayon for the background. See, and to me this doesn't look like a Christmas page. It can be any kind of, so I did it just like a winter page kind of, and I'm happy with it. I made this definitely into a coloring Christmas because I used green and red. Got some sparkle on her. She's doing some Christmas cooking. So I used both pencils and alcohol markers, and then some washi tape. So yeah, just a fun little book. This guy is No Peeking. I used the Blick Studio pencils for this one. and I have a Blick Studio pencil comparison coming up shortly, so if you're interested in those pencils, you can watch that video. I used a little bit of washi tape on that saying no peeking, and a little bit of stickles, obviously, every time I have a pom-pom. And we've got a buddy color in this book. I had two buddy colors, both with Judith M. She's a subscriber here on YouTube, and so I will be showing you Judith's page here in a second. I used Dollar Tree glitter markers and some Spectrum Noir sparkle markers and some pencil crayons and a little bit of washi tape. So I'll pause here for Judith's page. And the second buddy color I did with Judith was this page, and it's yellowing behind here, so I've got a piece of paper behind it. But I did this as day 17 in my coloring advent calendar. I had the day that we had 2 pages left here. I came and did this page. We've got the background is in different colored gelatos, and then I've got stenciled gelato stars around half of him, so it's in the shape of a crescent moon. I've got on the icing here, it's raised, and that is the liquid pearl I used on him for the icing, his eyes, and his little icing on his cookie for the gingerbread man. And then I've got stickles and alcohol markers, a little bit of pencil to do some fur on the guy. But yeah, really pleased with how this page turned out. It's always fun to test and try out different mediums, especially this. It looks like icing and it's raised. It's turned out perfect. I was really pleased with how that turned out. And I'll show you now Judith's page. So thank you, Judith, for being a buddy color person with me. If you want to buddy color with me, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram and then direct message me or leave a comment below so that I can get a hold of you and we can decide on a book. I participate in the Pixies Project's Complete Area Veil prompt, where we are completing a page a month in this book called Area Veil by Chroma. And she picks a page every month. She picked the Boba tea shop this month, and I used a variety of my new markers. I'll use some dragonfly glaze on top of the markers and on top of the teapot, and then I used gel pen, and I was using specific a color palette that I had kind of dreamt up in my own head, so I wanted it to be different. I turn one of the little cats always into a panda, so there's my panda for the page, and I got a little drop of tea coming out of the teapot. I thought that was cute. Ink and rubbed on and kind of made a path, so as if a path was walking around and going behind the, just kind of ground the page a little bit. But yeah, I really liked it. I think it came out well. And that's another page down. So now I have 7 pages left in this book. So we will be done in 2023. I got a book for Christmas from my girlfriend Kathy, and I want to thank her. And it's an animal mandala adult coloring book. It's a French book. So anyways, this is what the front cover looks like. And I did 1 page in there to start this. I'm not normally a mandala person, but I did really like the whole idea of there being like an animal within the mandala and then the mandala behind it. So I'm not sure that I like the background colors that I picked, but I really do like how I did the deer head, or I think it's an antelope actually, because of the horns. My husband would be able to tell me exactly what animal that is if he was here. But anyway, so yeah, it's going to be a fun book. So thank you to my friend Kathy. The mouse guard, so size-wise. And I completed this page. And I thought it reminded me about the true meaning of Christmas. So I used Neocolor 2s and a Jelly Roll gel pen for a little bit of the silver accents and the purple accents on her dress. But yeah, and no buckling. As long as you're using minimal water, this is fairly good paper in this book, and it will take some water medium. So yeah, so Neocolor 2 and a little bit of gel pen. So that turned out. And I do have one more buddy color. I did a buddy color with the lovely Amanda from Amanda Colors in Australia, and I did that in November, and she wasn't able to complete her page in November, which is no problem, but she completed it and sent it to me in early December, so I want to show it to you right now. So Amanda and I completed a page from this lovely book by Angela Gonzalez, and it's called Sea of Colors. So I just wanted you to know which book that page was from. To let you know what we're doing in January is January starts with a J. We are going to be focusing on books from Joanna Basford, and spoiler alert, I do not have her most current book, so we will not be doing that book unless I get it sometime soon. But we will be doing all of her old books. So I'm sure a lot of you have her old books, so dig those books out. Let's show them some love in January. We're going to do some hopefully altered page here and there and have some fun with different mediums. I have both the regular editions and some of the artist editions, so we can use lots of different mediums in those books. So I hope to see you coming along in January, where I will be doing at least 2 videos a week. And until we see each other next time, I hope you have a wonderful creative week, and I'll see you again shortly. Bye-bye, everyone.